Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be changing my air pump out in my air stones. As you can see, my air stones, when I first put the pond together, you can see how old these air stones are. And I have an Aquascape 4 line pump here, and it's a real quiet pump. I actually decided to buy the same pump again. So today we're basically going to be changing the lines out, and I ended up getting the same pump kit by Aquascape. It comes with 4 different air stones, and it's a super quiet pump, and I had nothing but good luck with this last one, so we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to change it out. So now I want to talk about what are the importance of having air stones and having oxygen in your pond. And it was something that I actually started looking into and didn't really think it was that important. Obviously when I put the pond in, I put it in, but the question is why are we putting air into the pond? It's good for the fish, we know that, but what else and what other benefits is it for having this pump in there? So, well, from what I've read is that it creates a good biological pond. So in other words, you're going to get oxygenated in the water, right? Put oxygen in, and what's going to happen is it's going to break down all that muck, all the leaves that go in there, all the dirt, all the sludge and slime. The more oxygenated your water is, the more that you create a really good ecosystem, and it's healthy for your fish. It's good for the breakdown of the ecosystem. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to actually replace this all out, and I think we'll check it out and see how it works, okay? And so those are some of the benefits of having a pump in your pond is having a good ecosystem and giving oxygen to your fish. Another reason why I'm putting the pump in there today is because I'm doing another video where I'm going to be cleaning out my waterfall. And through the area that I live in, there's a lot of winds in here. So a lot of wind comes in and it transplant grass and all kinds of different weeds, and I kind of neglected it and I didn't clean it out. So I did notice the other day that when I actually turned my pump off on my waterfall and I let it sit for a couple of days before we had 3 days of rain, I noticed I was able to come out here and it was a lot easier for me to pull that grass up. That grass is like a crabgrass or something, and what it does is it creates a big weed barrier. It creates a lot of, well, not weed barrier, but it creates a lot of roots and stuff that kind of make it easy for it to pull. Now when it's wet, it's going to be harder to get out of there. It's all real muddy and stuff like that. So I'm going to put oxygen in the water for the fish, and then I'm let the waterfall sit for a couple of days. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to do another video on cleaning out the waterfall and stuff like that. So I like a natural pond because, and I like the overgrowth. Some people don't like an overgrown pond, but to me it looks more natural that way, instead of all manicured out and stuff like that. So I like a little overgrowth, not too much. The fish like it. There's a lot of cover with the yellow flag here I have going on. But it's now time, spring's coming up. We got to clean our pumps out, clean our filters out and things like that. So but anyways, let's go ahead and let's get this installed, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unbox this, and we're going to take out the pump, and you'll see that once I get it open here, we'll slide this out. And you're going to see it comes with 4 different winterized lines here for each one of your stones, your air stones. And if you want them to be a certain length, you can just cut them, or you can leave them full length like I do. We're going to pull out the new Aquascape pump I've got. They also make this in a 2-line or a 4-line, and I got the 4-line because my pond's a little bit bigger. And obviously we're going to pull the stones out. You can see the difference between these two. This one's the one that's the old one, and this is the newer one. So every once in a while you want to get in there and pull these up, and you want to clean these out because you get a lot of algae and stuff like that in them as well. So, and these are really no good. All right, So let's get these in, and we're gonna start putting these lines, open these up and put these lines in here, and I'll figure out where I'm gonna put them. Now when I get these air stones in the water and you want to place these, you don't want to place them to the deepest part of the pond itself. And so I'm going to kind of put one in the shallow end, put two like in the shallow end, and put two in the deep end, but there's about a 4-foot drop. And I'm going to keep these probably on about the 2-foot, 3-foot shelf I have here. I don't want them at the very bottom because I don't want to stir up all that sediment and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep them on the sides of the pond itself. And you can put some in the middle, but I don't really like to do that because I don't want to stir up all that sediment. So I would highly suggest just keeping them around the shelves and stuff like that. And after we get this in place, we're going to turn the waterfall off. Like I said before, we're going to let it sit for a couple of days, and then we're going to come back and we're going to film a new video on how to clean the waterfall, and that's to come, so stay tuned. Okay, first thing I want to do is I'm going to pull back this net here to make it a little easier. And I like to keep a net over my pond because I don't want all the fish being eaten by birds and stuff. So I'm going to make this a little bit easier. I'm just going to pull this net across here a little bit. All right. So we're going to do the same thing on that side. I want to expose the pond so I can place my stones in. Kind of want to move this net back a little bit more. All right, we're going to move these lines, these air lines. And these are the old ones. And you can kind of see how I've kind of woven these in here. So, okay. All right. There we go. So I just dug a little trench out here. I'm going to set my my air pump right here. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. So this is the old air line, which is no good. All right, I'm gonna dig this out again. All right, I want a flat place for my pump. It's gonna be right here. Ideally, we want to get some kind of flat stone to put this on. And I think we're just going to take this piece here. We're going to stick this in here like that. And that's what we're going to set my pump on. Okay. So yeah, I didn't think it was that important to have, you have a large pond or really any size pond, I didn't think it was that important to really have air in there. But once I read that it causes your sludge and stuff to kind of break down, I'm like, I'm all for that. So all right, so now I'm going to get my 4 lines here, and I'm going to hook up each line. So yeah, I felt like once I came out here and I seen that these were pretty gunky, I thought, well, it's better to replace them. So I just bought a new pump, and so let's get them replaced. All right, so when you get this aquascape, you're gonna see it's gonna have these little lines here, little return lines here. And it has an arrow facing out this way. So that's how we're going to put this. Okay. I think the fish are really gonna like this because I get air in the pond through the waterfall. The waterfall goes down and creates air circulation, but sometimes it's just not enough circulation. So to promote a more healthier pond and to make it a lot easier for your fish to breathe, a lot easier for all the organic matter to kind of decompose. You don't want to go into a pond where you're stepping in it and you've got a lot of sludge, like 4 or 5 inches worth of mud in there, you know what I mean? But you want all that stuff to break down. And that's what we're trying to accomplish by putting this in there today. Now what I want to do is I want to take these lines now, and I want to stretch these lines out. Take this air pump and I want to kind of put this rock down in there, kind of hold it, and I'll put another rock on top of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this now. Now, I want to rebury this line here. All right. So now I got to figure out where I want these air stones to be at. And I think we take this first one, and I don't need it to be super long. So I think we're going to cut it. I think if I can get it out there, probably, I'd say probably about 6 to 8 feet. It's kind of a judgment call. We're going to get some scissors and we're going to cut that out. All right, so what we're going to do now is keep in mind it's better to not cut too much. Better to not cut too much of your line off. So you want to kind of get an idea of where this is going to sit at. So I think this is a little too long. I think I want to cut it. You can always shorten it up. See all the fish down there? They're ready to go. They're like, come on, bring me some oxygen. You got spring coming up, so there's going to be a lot of planting coming up. All right. So we're kind of getting things ready to go. I think that I want this thing here, I want this sitting. I don't want to have it sitting right here. I got to get it to turn around. Alright, come on guys. It wants to go upside down, doesn't it? I think that's still a little bit long. So I think we're going to cut off. Let's do another cut. Kind of have to do this by trial and error here. All right. Okay, now you guys want that over here. All right. Okay, so you want that there. Still a little long. Let's see. Come on, guys. That way. Cut off another. Alright. I think this is going to be good now. Alright. You can always flip those over with a hoe. Flip this over. Alright. Okay, so now we got our next line we got to do. And I would space, I got a pretty long pond and I want to space them probably maybe 5 feet or 6 feet apart, something like that. Alright, so let's do the next one. Alright, so we're going to have to take this next line here. And I can already tell that some of these lines are not too long, so I want another one going out that way. So I'm gonna have to add to one of these lines. So all right, this one here I'm gonna have to throw it underneath that net right there. I'm going to have to use one of these joiners off of the old lines here, and I might have to use one of these lines to reach where I want to reach at. So that's what we're going to do. We got 3 here. I only need 2. All right, so is there another one there? Oh, here it is, right. So I'm going to take one of these lines and I want to use it to extend my line out. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the line alongside the pond so you can't see the line. And you can also hold down the line with gravel and rocks and things like that. But today I'm not going to do all that stuff. So my goal is to get the waterfall cleaned out, and this is going to help me. I'll oxygenate the water. I'm going to turn my waterfall off for a couple of days until the water, dries out. It's not so wet, and then I'll get it going real good, and we'll turn everything on. So yeah, so I'm going to use these existing lines here, these joiners. All right, so now we've extended the line here. And now we got a longer line using my old line because I don't have any fresh line. And we're going to just simply run it alongside the pond here. Sometimes when you get this old line, it's kind of stiff, so take a little bit of a heat on your hose there, and that kind of loosens your line up. All right. That worked out good. There we go. Okay, I want to place this line here on this flat stone right here. pond here. And I can see it's a little too long. So I think I'm gonna cut it. After I did all that hard work getting it in there. All right, we got one more to do here, and ideally I'd like to get this one across the pond, but I got the net over there, so it's gonna be hard for me to get it over there. So I'm just gonna put it right down here and get things going here. Turn it over here. All right. All right, guys, so we have all 4 stones in now. So now it's time to turn the air stones on and let's see what happens. All right, so we're gonna go, you can see how I added my pump in here. So we're gonna simply just turn this on. Now I'm gonna put a cap on top of this so you can't see the pump. Okay, perfectly on. So let's go check it out. Well, there's my first one. Look at that. Providing oxygen for the water. We have 2 more here in this area. You can see my fish already really like it. Okay. Let's go down this area here and see what we got over here. Look at all the fish down there, right by the aerator. All right. So ideally, I'd like to have this one here moved over across the pond over there somewhere. And I think once I pull back the net, we're gonna actually do that. So, but for now, we got to go on pretty good. So we're gonna put the net back on. And all the fish love it now. Let's see what these guys are doing. Yeah, you can see how clear my water is too. All right, good deal. Provide some nice healthy oxygen for the fish and the plants. And I think that'll actually make your fish a lot more healthier too. So, all right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I know I've been a little lazy lately, but we're getting spring now. We're going to do some more planting, and we're going to be adding some more fish to the pond pretty soon. I think it's good to keep your pond aerated, and that way you have all your sediment breakdown. It's biologically great for your pond and your fish. They're gonna love the air. So, I don't know. I guess when I first heard about putting air in your pond, I'm like, well, it didn't make sense to me. I figured the waterfall was good enough, but you know, the more oxygen you have in the pond, the better. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.